What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's had a great weekend. Latest addition to the University of Miami football program from the transfer portal, Jose Bordeaux. He was the FIU kicker last season. He went 21 out of 29. That's 72% overall. His longest field goal made was 53 yards, and he was 3 out of 4 from 50-plus yards. Made all of his extra point attempts. Compare that to Bubba Baxa, who was 5 out of 10. Field goal attempts and 15 out of 17 extra points. I think it's night and day the difference. Miami just got a great kicker. Huge shout out to Coach Manny Diaz. Let's be real, we left a lot of points on the board against Florida, Georgia Tech, and UNC regarding field goal attempts. So huge get. I mean, special teams is going to win and lose you games. No doubt about that. Usually good teams that go on and are successful throughout the season, they have good special teams. Whether it's punting and kicking, but the unit as a whole with Lou Headley coming back and then add in Bordeaux, I think we're going to be good moving forward, and it's only going to help our team. All right, so let's talk about our new offensive line coach, Garin Justice. He was the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach down at UNLV this past season. So UNLV, regarding sacks allowed, they allowed 28 sacks. They're 94th in the country. Miami, regarding sacks allowed, was 127th in the country. Now, UNLV average yards per carry regarding running the football was 4.6. That's 58th in the country. And Miami, rushing yards per carry was 3.8. They averaged, and that's 120th in the country. So there's a little bit of a huge difference there. 2016, 2017, Garin Justice was the offensive line coach down at FAU under Lane Kiffin, who is now at Ole Miss. Larry Bluestein, who covers South Florida football, said this was a great hire for Miami. He's not only a great coach, but a great recruiter, something I've stressed a ton of times on my videos regarding your backbone of a football program is having great assistants who can recruit. So, hey, we'll see what happens. This is a new offensive philosophy we are bringing to the University of Miami. We have never seen a air raid offense down in Coral Gables, so hey, who knows? Maybe our entire offensive line unit that is coming back, which is great. We're not losing anyone. You know, maybe they'll respond well to this new air raid offense. I know we're going no huddle. It's going to be nonstop. You better be well conditioned and well disciplined. So, hey, we'll see what happens. But we were the worst offensive line unit in the nation. I don't think we can get any worse than last season, giving up 10 sacks to Duke, 10 sacks to Florida. So we can only go up, guys. So we'll see what happens, but throw in a couple transfer portal guys like Henry Haddis, Devin Cochran, perhaps Terrence Davis, and Jalen Rivers as well. A lot of hype coming in. 13 University of Miami freshmen are on campus. They just moved in today. So some exciting times down in Miami, and I think our offensive line group is going to make a big jump going into next season. John Holcomb II, guys. I know a lot of people have inquired regarding him. 6'5", 250-pound quarterback out of Kansas State. Freak athlete, played wide receiver. They put him at tight end down at Kansas State. He announced on Twitter he will be shutting down his recruitment. His father's following Rhett Lashley and Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz and Rhett Lashley are also following John Holcomb II. So it's up in the air right now, his decision. Just want to inform you guys on that he's no longer interested in visiting other schools. But he's shutting down his recruit. So we'll see what happens. No decision has yet been made publicly. So it's going to be very interesting if he ends up becoming a Miami Hurricane or perhaps goes to a school like Vanderbilt, because Derek Mason and Todd Fitch, their new offensive coordinator is also actively on his Twitter account as well. So we'll see what happens. Now, Quincy Roche, defensive end, AAC Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year from Temple University, had 13 sacks this past season, was down in Coral Gables, visited the University of Miami campus for 2 days. According to Andrew Ivins from 247 Sports, he does not plan on taking any more visits, but Rutgers, new head coach Greg Schiano, very good recruiter, brought Rutgers from a deadbeat program all the way to number 2 in the nation for a week, and then they lost to USF. But Greg Schiano is pushing hard to get Quincy Roche down for a visit. Quincy Roche does not plan on taking any more visits, so it's very exciting if we can land Quincy Roche. We are going to be just a nasty defensive front. Probably one of the best in the nation. Throw in Gregory Rousseau, Javari Harvey, Jalen Phillips, Nesta Silvera, Jonathan Ford, and Quincy Roche. That's a very dominant group moving forward, not just in the ACC, but in the nation. Jett Duffy, I know a lot of people have also been asking about Jett Duffy's status, who recently committed to Tulane this weekend, but the quarterback out of Texas Tech who ran a spread offense, he is getting out of his commitment from Tulane and is no longer considering Tulane, so he's back on the transfer portal market. I know those people that were pushing for Jett Duffy, he's still out there, but I don't know if Miami is still pushing for him. I personally think it's a red flag if you already have a quarterback jumping around and he's a transfer portal recruit. So we'll see what happens with Jett Duffy moving forward. A lot of fans also, they believe that the quarterbacks in the quarterback room can get the job done. We don't need to go out in the transfer portal market. I agree. Everyone in that quarterback room is either a 4-star recruit or higher. So I do think that one quarterback, whoever it's N'Kosi Perry, Jaron Williams, Peyton Matoka, Tyler Mendyke, or Tate Martell. Remember, we are running an air raid offense. So Tate Martell does thrive in that offense, but he does throw awful football. The down and out with KJ Osborne, that ball was wobbling since he let it loose. But yeah, so we'll see what happens, guys. We may have the right quarterback in that group right now. We don't have to get a transfer portal quarterback to come in, but nonetheless, it is good just to get more competition in the group. And we'll see what happens. Watch out for Peyton Matoka, kid out of Houston, Texas. We'll see what happens. Good athlete, not like an athlete like N'Kosi Perry or an arm like N'Kosi Perry. Personally, I think N'Kosi Perry will be the starting quarterback, but that's just my guess. Now, let's talk about the Alonzo Highsmith deal, guys. It has reoccurred. I myself am very exhausted from hearing all this Alonzo Highsmith rumors, but according to Stadium Drive podcast, his agent is flying down to Miami this past weekend. And from what I've been told, it is a verbal agreement with Alonzo Highsmith and the University of Miami football program, and his agent is coming down to go over responsibilities before they sign anything. Nonetheless, if we get Alonzo Highsmith, I think it's a great step moving forward with this University of Miami football program. We need a alpha personality to implement the right idea, the right vision for this University of Miami football program. Blake James is not a alpha personality. He's never dealt with a juggernaut powerhouse football program. He used to be the ex-athletic director at Maine. I think they're good at hockey. I'm not sure. But Maine, it's not Miami in anything. So, hey, that's all I got regarding Alonzo Highsmith. But if he comes on to Miami, great. If not, let's move forward. We got a great offensive coordinator in Rhett Lashley. Our total defense was 13th in the nation. We're getting a lot of transfer portal players to come in the near future that are only going to help our team. I think we can have a great season next year. I really do. Hey, that's all I got, guys. Look out for more videos moving forward. Go Canes.